If I feel like a woman and you didn't even know I wasn't a woman, then what's the problem?
It's kind of like, if anyone can identify as a woman, then what is a woman? Hi, my name's Louise.
My name's Louise.
I describe myself as a radical feminist.
I identify as a rational transgender feminist. I have been silent because my opinion doesn't fall in line with the others.
We're silenced by being called transphobic.
Why is this even a debate?
For me, I really want women's spaces to be protected because, you know, women can be vulnerable in certain situations. So I think having our women's spaces open to kind of people that may self-identify as a woman, I think that's quite dangerous, to be honest.
I'm all for protecting women's spaces, but as a trans woman like me, to go into a woman's space, that is me trying to protect my space. If I feel like a woman and you didn't even know I wasn't a woman, then what's the problem? Is it just the people that you can visibly see aren't?
I think the issue really is you may feel like a woman, but there are two sexes. There's men and women, and womanhood is not an identity. It's a physical reality.
Do you mean like ovaries, giving birth, etc.?
No, I just mean in terms of rape, FGM, all of these things. You know, throughout the centuries, we've been oppressed on the physical nature of our bodies, and I think that's something that really needs to be taken into consideration. It's kind of like, if anyone can identify as a woman, then what is a woman?
I am a woman in my mind, and my body has been adjusted so it is physically a female. The perception of a trans person is, you know, big man, big dress, scary, kind of predator. And it's just not, that is not what it is. And I feel like a lot of the feminists, even the radical feminists, are seeing such a radical side of the transgender world we live in. And they're not, they're just focusing on that.
Does everyone have a voice in this debate?
No, I believe, unfortunately, the loudest and more garish are being put to the forefront, and I don't believe that represents me or many other segments of the community. Just because you put someone who is sensational and going to create a headline doesn't mean they actually represent a full community, and that's what was scaring me.
From my perspective, I would say that any woman's voice that doesn't agree with trans or, you know, all of the new gender ideology, we're silenced by being called transphobic. I really feel like it's defamation of character, because that's not me at all. I'm not inciting violence or anything like that, but I want to protect women's spaces, and that's what I want to do. And why am I not allowed to voice that opinion?
I feel like you must have only came across the radical side of it.
Well,
because if you'd have met me and maybe some of my people, I genuinely feel like we would have been having cups of tea, having a proper chat, the whole no debate and no, you can't talk about it. Well, that just doesn't make any sense, because how is progress going to be made if we do not have a debate and everybody's voice is heard? Do you think people have been silenced in this debate?
100%. I was advised, you know, don't show your face, use a different name. Because unfortunately, you know, so many women that have spoken up about this issue where they feel uncomfortable, they've been demonised, they've been called transphobic. It's scary, you know, I don't want people thinking I'm transphobic, because I'm not at all. But I refuse to be silenced. And I think, yeah, a lot of women have been silenced and continue to be silenced. And I think this is why this is really actually quite groundbreaking, because it's opening up the conversation, which is what needs to happen.
I agree. There's so many women out there like me who are scared to go into these groups because our opinion is so different, because we don't want to fight, we don't want to argue. So we back away and our voice is silenced like that. A lot of us aren't told you, shut up. A lot of us see it and go, oh God, the drama. We've had enough drama. Like my life and a lot of other people's life, it's been so up and down. Like the journey is just crazy. And that was the reason I stepped forward, because I went, well, hang on a second. I can handle probably a lot of name calling, and I'm not going to be silenced, because I know there's women out there that want to be women, and that is what's getting lost.
I think actually gender can be really destructive, you know, because it's like, you know, women should be like this and men should be like that, and if you don't fit in,
I agree.
no, you can be whatever you want, you can act however you want, because gender's a role, you know, and not everyone's going to fit into that role. It's been presented as if it's kind of, you know, progressive, and in my opinion, it's not progressive at all, because what they're saying is, you know, I identify as this because I don't fit in with these gender roles. So really what that is doing is validating those gender roles. Sex is completely different to gender, and I think that's what really needs to be understood here.
I just think the essence of how united we all were once upon a time to now is so devastating. That's the destructive format. Trans women have stood with women before we were even fighting for trans rights. We fought with you for women's rights. Our needs don't overpower women's needs. Our needs as a whole could come together.
This is such an important issue of our time that, you know, people do really need to come out and speak about it. For me, as much as I'm scared, I feel it's my duty as a woman to come here and to have this conversation with you and to voice my opinion, which I feel is shared by a lot of women.
I feel the silence now is maybe just starting to kind of wear off, because a lot more people like us, that's why we're here today, are sitting down and having a debate. How do you think it went?
I'm really pleasantly surprised by how it went, to be honest.
Oh.